Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Saila Majid, Global President, the ACCA, Mr. Asad Amin Khan, Head of ACCA Pakistan, members of ACCA, accounting professionals, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. It's indeed a pleasure to be here today. I'm particularly grateful to the organizers for inviting me to speak today in this conference on Sindh's path to building resilience and sustainability. We gather to discuss not only our present challenges but also the path we must forge to build a truly resilient and sustainable Sindh. Our province, rich in history, diverse in culture, and with immense potential, stands at a critical juncture. While we celebrate our strengths, we must also frankly acknowledge the obstacles that impede our progress. But let me be clear, Sindh is ready to overcome these challenges and to thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know the realities we face. Socio-economic disparities cast a long shadow, particularly in our rural communities. Too many of our brothers, sisters, and children struggle with low literacy, malnutrition, and the heartbreaking tragedy of high infant mortality. These challenges are further compounded by the increased frequency of natural disasters and the persistent instability of our economy. Environmental challenges and extreme weather conditions like droughts and floods due to climate change are clear and present challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, our government is aware of these issues. We are taking decisive actions to confront these challenges head on. I'll just touch upon a few of our initiatives, a few of our challenges. Obviously, first and foremost is the education sector. Education, as we all know, is the cornerstone of progress. We in the province of Sindh are forging partnerships to improve access to quality education. I'll talk about our public-private partnership initiative, and not only in the infrastructure sector, we started about 13 years ago with our first project in the province of Sindh in infrastructure, but we've grown from there, and now we've introduced public-private partnership in the service sector, and most prominent are health and the education sector. In the education sector, we've got a number of educational management organizations with whom we have entered into contracts to run our schools that we built, and we've seen a marked difference. Again, the population that we are right now touching is very small, but the plan is to go forward and use the private sector's passion and the experience both in the education and the health sector and the resources that the government has to ensure good quality education and health services. In the health sector, again, the challenges that we face right now are problems in primary health. In the tertiary health sector, we're very proud that we've got institutions like the National Institute of Cardiovascular Disease, the Sindh Institute of Urology and Transplant, the Jinnah Postgraduate Medical Center, Gambut Institute of Medical Sciences in Gambut. These are providing world-class tertiary health services. But again, in the primary health, we've started and we're looking into forging alliances with the private sector. And there again, under the public-private partnership model that we have, we've been managed to get organizations interested in managing the hospitals along with the government interested, and we've had some partial success in it. One of the key problems that we face, and both my earlier speakers talked about, is the danger of climate change. We've in the recent past have suffered from the effects of climate change. The 2022 floods in our province were the biggest natural disaster that we've seen in recent, I believe we don't have any recorded history of a catastrophe like the 2022 floods. The 2022 floods, when the UN Secretary General was here, called it, he said it was of biblical proportions and a monsoon on steroids. After the floods, we were really not sure whether we'd be able to overcome the damage that it had caused, but with the grace of Almighty Allah, with the help of our friends, we managed to not only rebuild, not entirely but substantially, the infrastructure, both in the on the road side, in the irrigation, on the irrigation side. We've redone our hospitals, and we're doing the schools. Almost 20,000 schools were damaged in the 2022 floods, and we are in the process, again with the help of friends, to make sure that we not only rebuild our infrastructure, but we rebuild it better. Apart from that, for the first time in the history of the world, I'd say, we've embarked into a project where we are providing housing for almost 12 million people of the province of Sindh. Almost 2 million houses were completely destroyed in the 2022 floods, and the government of Sindh embarked upon this initiative of rebuilding climate resilient houses for our people. And not only did we manage to secure the financing for it, but by the grace of Almighty Allah, we've already crossed 900,000 houses. The target is about 2 million, and as I said, we've got funding for it. And this makes it the biggest housing project anywhere in the world. Now, mind you, I'm talking about 12 million people. This is probably, I don't have the numbers, I don't remember the numbers right now, but it's probably more than at least 120, the population of 120 countries of the world. So if the people that we are serving were made part of a new country, this would be a country which would be larger than 120 countries of the world. So one doesn't realize the proportions that we're talking about here. It's not a few thousand houses, it's 2 million houses that we're building. In water management, again, looking at the dangers of climate change, what we are doing is we are expanding our drainage systems in the province so that, God forbid, if we are hit with another catastrophe like this, we are better prepared. I'm not saying that we'll pass any catastrophe without any damage. You can't fight nature, but you can try and manage with whatever resources you have, and that's what we're trying to do. Another area that we are working on is making sure that the city of Karachi, which is the growth engine for Pakistan, gets the necessary infrastructure. Again, Karachi, which was at the time of independence a few thousand people, has grown astronomically, and with a city of a population of more than 20 million, with the recent count, the infrastructure is lagging far behind, and we're totally aware of this. What we're doing is making sure that we build the water infrastructure, bring in more water into the city to fulfill the needs of the 20 million plus people. Wastewater, the Sindh Solid Waste Management Board has been formed, and it's performing much better than what we used to perform earlier. We are looking into waste to energy projects for the city. We produce more than 15,000 tons of garbage every day, and we generate this garbage, and we need to make it to good use. The transport sector, the transport in this province, again, we are building right now 3 bus rapid transit systems. Apart from that, we are introducing electric buses, with the first 500 buses have been approved. Our plan is to take this to 8,000 electric buses for the city of Karachi, and we are on a way to this. Climate change, I'm grateful to the Global President. She talked about our initiatives In the carbon market sector, we are the only province, not even the federal government was able to raise, and what we did was, again in public-private partnership, we offered our mangroves, and through these we've been able to date earn $15 million in carbon credits, and the potential is much larger. And what we've done is we've got another project which has been launched in the public-private partnership, for forestation, and again the revenue model for it is earning through carbon credits, selling the carbon credits and earning from it. There's a lot that the government is doing, but we can't do it alone. We need partnerships. We need partnerships to achieve the transformation that we're planning, to achieve our goals for 2047 when Pakistan turns 100 years. And for this, we are proud and we are happy that we have the structure for private participation built into the legislation in our province. Again, we are the first province to have a Public-Private Partnership Act. That was in 2010, and it has evolved. We've got help from international agencies to make sure that this is a model which which allows participation in the private sector, allows them to make profits, and it allows the government to provide the service which it has to do our residents. The public-private partnership unit of the province of Sindh, and this I'm talking about 6 years ago now, it was in 2017 that we were ranked number 6 in Asia by the Economic Intelligence Unit, and we ranked higher than Pakistan, and we were one of the only 2 subnationals, Gujarat in India being the second one, which was ranked amongst national governments, national public-private partnership programs. So I see a lot of professionals here. What I would encourage you to do is look into our public-private partnership model, and for the betterment of the residents of this province, for the betterment of this country, and most of all to make profits for your organizations. Enter into the available opportunities that we have here. We've got great opportunities. I talked about the forestation and revenue model through carbon credits. We've got wastewater. Karachi generates, 20 million people. We generate a lot of waste water. It can be treated and be used in industry with obviously an investment, but again it has a revenue model, and we can earn, the private participants come in and earn money. The government is not in the business of earning money. We are in the business of providing service to our residents. So together we can achieve our objectives. The private sector making profits and the government providing the service to its residents. So I would encourage you to come and partner with the Sindh government in order to achieve the objectives, both our objectives. Ladies and gentlemen, resilience and sustainability are not just buzzwords. They are guiding principles that will shape the future of our country. We are committed to rebuilding and modernizing our infrastructure. We are committed to promoting sustainable practices in every sector, and above all, we are committed to building a Sindh where every citizen has the opportunity to thrive. Let us work together, hand in hand, to build a resilient, sustainable and prosperous Sindh. A Sindh that stands tall in the face of adversity and shines as a beacon of hope and progress for all Pakistan. Thank you very much. Pakistan Zindabad.